Wish I was as sultry as Kevin James. That guy is so fit. He's handsome.
Don't fucking laugh. Anybody fucking joking right now? Ain't nobody fucking joking right now.
Gosh dang it. So, hey, welcome back to Three Guys in a Cartridge. This is episode 10. Hear snarky comments from gamers just like you, or if you're not a gamer, hopefully you get into it. We're going to talk about everything under the sun, but most of the time we're going to focus on video games. I am Dishonorable Thor, and as always, I have with me three closest guys in the world, or I guess two closest guys in the world. Guy on my right,
Roger the Great.
and we got
Left nut, right nut. Hot Buzz, the soulless ginger.
Giant Ginger.
Giant ginger indeed. I'm that too. I'm multiple things. I'm a giant soulless ginger.
This is what's going on in our lives. So I got a new job. I'm doing security. Rouge is always doing what he's always doing, take care of IT. Eric, or Soulless Ginger, might get evicted. So,
Sweet.
you guys can...
Let's get personal, yo.
You,
Let's get
you guys,
personal.
you guys can crowdfund and save Eric's house. Crowdfund.
The
Do it.
one listener.
Save him.
I will appreciate
One
it.
listener, please drop and save it. Don't get him kicked out. But let's talk let's talk about Twitch. I want to talk about Twitch. Let's talk about Twitch. I don't really watch any Twitch people. I don't really watch streamers. I don't understand how that can be a job. But it is. What is the appeal of Twitch? Soulless Ginger, go.
The appeal of Twitch. I don't know. It's a question I've often thought about. Generally, what I used to use it for initially in the beginning was I used to go on, watch somebody play a game that I was possibly wanting to buy, and if it looked good enough, I would then attempt to purchase it. And if it looked like shit, or the guy was shitting on it, or it just didn't look like my game, I mean, there's really multiple ways you can take it, because there's certain even personalities that will have the same likes and interests of you.
I feel like there should be some backstory. There should be some backstory real quick. Eric did this because this was before he can afford like all the games he wanted. Because now Eric gets every game under the planet.
Yeah.
Or like on Earth. He gets every game. But before, Eric was like scrounging around money, trading games to get a game that he wanted.
So true. I've seen him.
Twitch
Sad.
appealed to him only because he's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't waste my money on this. Anyways, go on.
It did. And so it was a way just not to get burnt. Because I
All
think
games burn
so
you?
that the era when I really jumped onto Twitch, I mean, for a while we tried to cast there, but
That was funny. That was fun.
we like
Tell him.
it was two guys in a cartridge back when there was no Roger, and we would play.
He was just a baby then.
We had one guy who was gonna play and one guy who was gonna read chat and bullshit, and
That
we
was
played
me.
Binding of Isaac. And what did we do? We put
Yeah.
in like 2-3 sessions. We were supposed to have a schedule
Yeah.
and shit. Didn't work
It
out.
was really
I think I
hard,
moved
like-
too.
Yeah, like you moved, and then like I just got a girlfriend, so I was like preoccupied.
We brought in
I
that
was like,
one
"Hey,
kid. I forgot his name.
Oh, I don't know. We were trying to do computer games, but every time I would go over to Eric's house, we'd end up like watching HBO and just playing 2-player games and not even streaming. Like,
Yeah, we got a little addicted to Binding of Isaac back then, though. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
So
PSN
I mean,
game, a couple months ago. Free PSN game, a couple months ago.
yeah, I have it. I bought it. Definitely want to give that guy his money. Edward McMillan, independent developer. Actually, he did
Good
everything
game.
himself minus the music.
It was a good game.
Yeah. So really, I went there to just like look at a game, experience it. I think that was the time when I was playing Call of Duties, and I was like coming off that trend, and I'd pick up a Call of Duty, and I would just hate it. I would hate it so bad, I just wouldn't play it.
They're
Um,
garbage. I don't understand why people like them. Jeez.
so for that's really what I used it for. And then I figured out
Sidestep.
through South
Sidestep.
Park that there were kids that just, I mean, they were watching. I think they were watching YouTubers at the time, but like people will watch Twitch streams now, like children of like PewDiePie and shit like that, and like that was like to a whole nother level that I didn't even. There's a guy named Markiplier, my two little girl cousins. They like love Markiplier. Markiplier.
Well, now any
Yeah.
day, like nowadays, like anyone can just get like hella famous for doing like crappy stuff, thanks to Instagram and Vine.
No.
And
At
so,
least Twitch banned people that were twerking.
oh, that's legit. Dude, what do you mean no? Like anyone can get famous now. All you have to do is get a following, like exploit yourself.
Yeah, but you can't say it's from doing nothing. I
Okay,
mean,
fine.
dude, like even a reality show takes like a film crew, and there has to be like something interesting
Dude.
done.
There's a girl who makes like $100,000 a month by just twerking and taking pictures of her butt. That's doing nothing, dude.
Well, one, she has to be able to twerk well enough. Two,
It,
you have to
isn't
be in
that
shape.
borderline
Three, you have to
pornographic?
market yourself because, dude, to be honest, there are like thousands of girls out there twerking, and
Do you
for
have
her,
to be in shape?
for her to
Do you
be
have to
making
be in
that much
shape?
money, I'm sure, dude. If she was 400 pounds, do you think she'd have as many viewers?
She might find a market.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well then I'd say she's a damn good marketeer and not fucking just
A
useless
market-
twerking.
Wait. Marketeer, is that the same as a mouseketeer?
Almost. Some people confuse them, in fact. So
Like, oh, that Ryan Gosling, he was a great marketeer.
I mean, I
guess
just
you have
I
to
really wanted
know.
to know your opinions because so I'm watching Twitch right now. I'm watching the Speed Gamers. They're doing Mario Marathon till Friday, and they're donating everything to St. Jude's. They're playing
see
everything
that guy?
Mario.
That guy who beat it blindfold or whatever?
A Mario game? No.
Yeah. And like
And
didn't
then-
die.
I will watch people do speed runs on Twitch, but that's about where it ends. I
Is
watch.
Twitch only for video games?
Yeah, so it used to be Justin.tv. No, it used to be Justin.tv,
What's that?
and that had all the. That was like whatever you wanted. That was like talk shows and shit. And then they did Justin TV and Twitch, and then I think Justin went into Twitch. So now some people do podcasts. I don't think it goes beyond that though, right?
No, that there's a guy that like all he does is sculpt figures for
Yeah.
from video games.
So then there's another guy that sculpts figures. I mean, there was a chick on Justin TV back in the day that like would cook something once a day. So she'd broadcast it out, and it was a cooking show. I remember that, or like people that were like way into fitness, and they'd have
But
like
Twitch,
fitness talk
like
shows.
you can.
Twitch is
just a
mainly
service,
gaming.
But it's a service just to stream yourself doing stuff, right?
Correct. It's live. It's pretty much internet TV, but everything is
But
live.
free. But free.
It's just-
Correct. It is
And
free.
so it's fun.
I mean, you need
so
to
it's
have an
fun-
internet, but
It's fun to watch people play video games and hit and talk, and if they have like if they're pretty personable, you get kind of attached to that person, especially since like you're like they'll have the chat up, and then as they're playing, people will be asking questions, and then they look at chat and they answer it as they're playing.
they'll do that, or there's another guy I used to watch this guy Man vs Game back in the day, and he would play.
Remember
He
that.
was, yeah, he would play like all these really hard games, and it was basically his quest to beat every game, and he would play like a lot of like retro indie games. He reminded me a lot of the like angry video game nerd, and he would have like massive rage sessions, and like that's when it kind of dawned on me, like some of the shit is like possibly like teetering on that like reality TV where like sometimes you watch it just to see some guy like break a mouse or just like freak out and throw his controller across the screen. There's a guy named Ezekiel, the third or something like that, and he streams, and I've witnessed him twice live, like smashing his keyboard in half, and he'll like smash his keyboard and throw his mouse, and it'll break his camera, and then he'll type in there, "Sorry, I got to pick up new equipment," and then he quits streaming for the day. But then it gets highlighted, it gets thrown all over everything. People are like, "Watch this guy rage out!" Like, so in some ways, like I can see, like, I mean, it's very entertaining to watch, but like I feel like that's the like cheesy side of it. Is just like, I'll buy like $1 keyboard every day and just smash it up for the crowd. But I feel like maybe that was like the other side too that I was watching for, is like, it's like watching NASCAR for the crash. Like, you're just sitting there in anticipation, like, oh, this guy's been trying to do this for 4 hours. I can't wait for him to start screaming curse words. And it's definitely something different now. I mean, what I want to talk about too is like, it's almost become like a performance art. Like seriously, they have to, you have to invent a personality. You have to engage the viewers. I mean, there's a lot to it. Once you start getting subscribers, you can like make emotes.
Because it's hard enough it's hard enough for me to keep 5 friends close. I can only imagine keeping like a whole viewership close.
And some people have like when Man vs. Game gets on, sometimes he'll have like an upwards, like when he was doing Dark Souls, or not Dark Souls, Bloodborne, he was getting 28,000 viewers.
Jeez.
I mean, how do you manage 28,000 people? Like, I don't think you do. I think they just do whatever the hell they want to do.
Yeah,
So,
but like they feel like some kind of connection. It's just you're created in a celebrity. You turn into like a product. Rouge, do you like Twitch?
Yes and no.
what do you use Twitch for?
I use it when there's like tournaments like League of Legends. I'll come in and I'll just watch the teams that I like. Most of the teams I can't even fathom how they even got to that point where they're pro. They end up doing all this stupid shit. Like, how did you even get sponsored? Blows my mind. And then if there's a game that I really want to just like know how it's played before I buy it, like I just want to see the mechanics and stuff, so I'm not disappointed or it's gonna suck. And I'll watch that for a little bit, but other than that, watching people just play games all day, then subscribing or donating money seems like garbage.
Because essentially playing a video game is like an activity that you don't really do, and then watching someone play a game is even more ridiculous. Like, you're already sitting down doing nothing. Now you're watching someone else sit down and do nothing.
And then it's become more of like a social kind of science where when you subscribe or you donate money, your name flashes across the screen or something crazy happens, like a monkey sound happens or something, and it becomes like this whole social science where like they tempt you to donate or give money, and it's basically how casinos are run. That's how casino games are made. Flashing lights and loud noises.
Wait,
It's there for a reason.
so they donate money and it goes to the streamer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why are we doing this?
You either donate money or you get subscribers. Donations 100% go to you because it's just linking to your PayPal account, and subscribing, like Twitch gets a percentage. And then if you get sponsored by Twitch, then when ads run, you start getting revenue for the ads running. But it's crazy how many people have to view an ad for you to get money from that. But
More about the donations and subscriptions.
yeah, so you get all these donations, but I mean, at the same time too, you have to convince people to want to donate $5. Like, I feel like it's really, really hard to do. Like, I feel like it's so much harder than it looks like. I feel like you sit there and you look at this guy playing video games, and you're like, this guy looks like the biggest piece of crap I've ever seen. But then you got to sit there and think, this is what he's selling, dude. This is literally what he's selling. He is sitting in front playing a video game that you yourself could probably go buy. You're watching him for free, and somehow within that free service that will never block you off from viewing him, he has to convince you to put down money on him.
Does he? Like, do
That's not
streamers
easy.
sit there and ask? Do streamers sit there and ask for money?
They basically do rewards. So like, they found more and more clever ways. Like sometimes they'll be like, oh, I need to donate, or he'll be like, I'm getting a better setup. I know a lot of streamers. So like Mr. Happy, for instance, he does a bunch of Final Fantasy stuff. He plays Final Fantasy 14, I think it is 14, the MMO. He gets all his money from YouTube. That's where most his revenue comes from. So anything he gets in donations, he actually just puts towards a prize pool. And so that's another way you get him. So like they donate away prizes that they acquire from their success, and or from just their popularity, they'll be given free keys, and they'll just give those key codes away, and they give you additional chances to win given that you're a subscriber. So it's like a ticket raffle, just virtually. So people are putting tickets into a bucket. If you're a subscriber, you get to put 5 tickets in the bucket. So you have like, you're 5 times more likely to draw. And if you're not a subscriber, or sometimes they'll even block off subscribers completely, or block off non-subscribers completely. So there are like innovative touches to like try and persuade you to. But I mean, really, at the end of the day, however much shit they give out, or whatever it may be, I mean, it comes down to the fact that like that you're basically watching a free service, and somehow they're convincing you to give them money. I think it takes skill, and it takes a performance. I don't think it's just like, oh, easiest thing in the world.
I don't think it's that. I think you can market anything, and like doesn't matter. Like if people just need reasons to spend their money. Like a lot of people don't even care what they're doing with their money. They don't think about like the future or anything. They just need reasons to spend money. Like, oh, I like this guy. It's kind of funny. I'll give him $5. Some people get like very addicted and give more.
When you see some of the donations, because they go across the screen or whatever they do, or it'll show in a little box at the bottom saying the top 5 highest subscribers, you see like 20,000. Like, Jesus, who would
That's
do that?
crazy. That's a lot. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I don't know who would do that. Like, I mean, doesn't matter. I mean, Twitch is what it is. Like, it's just streaming service. I don't really care either way of it. Like, Twitch is nothing to me. I don't watch it. I listen to podcasts. I don't watch streamers.
I feel like in some ways, though, it's like a kind of podcast.
Yeah, and it's a video podcast.
Like, essentially.
Vlog.
A vlog? Whatever. I mean, I guess I'm not even like against. I guess I would vlog. I think I'm cool enough that people want to hang out with me virtually.
I mean, really what you're doing is you're just entertaining people watching your stream. And I really think it's a performance. I mean, and that may sound like really like oh, you're artistic.
I don't think it's a performance. Like, I don't think that
like
they're not.
a sport.
It is.
It's like calling what?
Cheerleading is a sport. Haven't you seen Bring It On? Gosh dang.
How would it be like cheerleading though?
I don't think it's a performance. They're not scripting what they're gonna say as they stream.
Sometimes they do.
Okay, but okay.
And it's maybe not so much scripted as improv. If you're not fucking entertaining, nobody's gonna give you money. I'll take this for instance too. I mean, Gonzo really hasn't stuck to his schedule. Gonzo is a really good player at video games. And Gonzo hasn't hit it off. And I'm not saying that like maybe it's so much Gonzo's fault, but like there's not a performance there. I mean, I feel like he has some phrases that could be really funny if he used them more. But if Gonzo, all he does is play really well and rank high, I mean, people will get bored. Because eventually, all you're really doing is just watching somebody play video games. So at some point, you need something more than that.
I guess. I don't think so.
It's kind of like that saying, like, if it were so easy, if it were easy money, everybody would be doing it. And everybody's
It's not
not
easy
doing
money.
it because it's
like
not
I said,
easy
you
money.
have to be likable.
And I think some of it too is like a stroke of luck. I think some of these guys have been doing this forever and they get no notoriety, and one day like a big streamer comes and embraces them, and then that makes them hit a few followers. So like that's where, like, if you have a schedule, like at some point I think you'll get some kind of notoriety, and that'll be your small moment where you're gonna have a shit ton of people watching you, and then you get judged on your entertainment factor.
I guess.
But I don't know. I just wanted to know what everyone's thoughts were on like the fact that like it's weird that
It's
there's
a
a
talk
community
show.
out there that just plays video games and people will watch them.
There's a community out there that just plays.
Maybe there's
stupid-
just nothing good on TV anymore.
Yeah, that's one thing. I don't.
So I've been playing Mega Man Battle Network lately. Let me
You've
tell
been
you.
playing other games, but you've rage quit.
I've rage quit. Yeah, I was playing Rocket League. By the way, okay, a lot of people are gonna say Rocket League is a free game. I think I've said this before. It's $20 game. There's not a lot to it. It can fucking burn. Because today I lost 1,000 matches. You get somebody in the game like Roger who just like refuses like to do the sound option. Like don't put the ball in front of the goal. Keep it in the corner when it's defensive, and he'll just lob it into the front of the goal. You
There's
consistently
so many
did that, dude. You consistently did it to a point where it's like
I
they would
didn't
eventually
do
score
it
off of it.
after you left. It was just so many bad situations.
So, after losing so much, because me and Cairo played, and we were just getting like 8-0, like 5 matches in a row, and I'm just like, I'm at my end. And then Roger gets on, and you get on, and we're playing, and then like we're still barely just winning. I was over it. And the fun factor came from this game. So, a lot of them were, I feel like that's a subject too in of itself. Like, people are saying like, oh, well, why are you quitting? Like, you shouldn't just quit. But I feel like the fun factor ended. So the discussion is like, can you quit a game too early, I guess?
No, you quit a game at the appropriate time.
Because like I feel like for instance too, I've caught drift in my group chat for quitting Destiny. And like to me, I feel like I've spent we were looking on that wastedondestiny.com or whatever. I feel like I've wasted my appropriate 432 hours. Like,
I want to take a moment and say kudos to whoever made that. That is awesome.
I know, right? I just feel like there's got to be a point where you like earn recognition, or you say that you've experienced everything that game has to offer, or like you don't ever feel like there's a time where you quit too early. What's your
no.
threshold for that? For instance, I'll give you an example. Cold played some game, I forget the name, but it was basically like they were trying to be like a Dark Souls, but a little bit easier, and it was all medieval and
Lords
shit.
of the Fallen.
Lords of the Fallen. He couldn't get past the tutorial, and he just quit the game. Literally the tutorial, where it like will freeze frame and tell you to press a certain button. The only problem with that tutorial is if you're like button mashing at that time, you'll skip through the freeze frame when it tells you to hit that button. You can skip through that dialogue, and then the enemy will just continually beat you because he's invulnerable until you do the certain operation to which they're trying to get you to understand.
I don't think you can quit too early. Like you quit whenever you're supposed to quit. If your game doesn't like tickle you, why play it?
Big world out there.
So
Yeah,
no matter how early.
why? Doesn't matter like what it everything games are subjective. Someone else says it's good doesn't mean that you're gonna like it. Just because someone said The Last of Us is a 10 out of 10 doesn't mean it actually is a 10 out of 10 for you.
I feel like The Last of Us should be played by everybody though.
Not everyone's into like horror games. Not everyone wants to be
What is
freaked
it?
out.
There's the stupid game websites say Destiny's like a 9 out of 10. I can't agree with that.
Yeah.
I just feel like at a certain point, I guess at a certain point you should be allowed to quit it.
At
I
a
guess
certain
really
point,
it depends on the terms that you quit on too. Like for instance, I quit on a handful of losses. That could look bad.
Dude, it's what you want to do. Like, doesn't matter. Who cares? It's all opinion. Like, someone's telling you, oh, you should have stayed longer. Based on what? Based on who?
I'm trying to. There's an example here, man. I just can't think of one right now.
Oh, you didn't finish. You didn't finish Super Mario World. You hated it. I don't see that happening. Like, no one's forced to finish video games. That's crap. Like, it's a video game. You're supposed to play to have fun. If you're having a terrible time, don't stick with it. That's garbage. What is this? Not like, what is this? Soviet Russia? Jeez. No?
Yeah,
Am I
but
alone
like,
here? No, you must
I-
be forced to play this game.
I guess so. I guess so.
You can...
I feel like in some ways though, there has to be like a point where you have to be like, all right, you have to get this far into the game before you quit it though. Okay, so let's bring the most extreme example. What if somebody quits on the title screen? They don't like the way the title screen looks. They're
Dude,
just like,
that's
nah.
like...
That
Dude,
because then
who have you known that's quit on a title screen? Like, really?
Eric Murchison
That doesn't count.
quit Final Fantasy XI on the Xbox 360 at the title screen.
Well,
I
that's
think he
'cause it
actually
was on
got into the game and just hated the fucking menus.
Yeah, that was because it was on the Xbox 360.
Oh yeah, I bought an Xbox 360 to play with him. And then by the time I bought it and got home and installed the game, I said, "All right, dude, when are we getting on?" He's like, "I quit already."
Alright.
Yeah, that was the
Isn't this
slow
the guy that
eventual
platinums
fall.
everything, right? Or tries to?
No, that's Eric. That was the guy you started ruining Arkham Knight for, so he left. And then I later verified that that's
Did
the
I
reason
re-
he left.
Oh, really? Jesus.
Yeah, because you started fucking spoiling it, and he's like, "I feel like that's the game right there. Like, I don't find much more than the story. I mean, the gameplay's great and all, but I guess
like
really
it.
what it comes down to is like a game is a picture on a wall, and
It's a
there
bad
should be
guy.
no amount of time you have to stare at it to understand it. Maybe it's more of an art
just
than
like
anything.
you just downgraded like every art major in the world.
Why?
It's a lot, bro.
Because you just said it's just a picture on the wall. Like it shouldn't take more than a second to like.
Yeah,
be-
I said it's like a picture on the wall. Like you shouldn't have to stand for a certain amount of time. Like you can either stand for a second to understand it, or like be enthralled by it and stand there for hours. It's like art. If I just said it's like art, you would have been like, "Whoa, art is a very big subject." So I was like, "It's like art, like a picture on the wall. Like whether you look at it for a second or 30 seconds, there's like shouldn't be a minimum requirement. Like I guess I could consider it that way."
I mean, like the big thing is like someone buying a video game, and then 10 minutes in, like they spent $60 on a game. and then they're like, oh, 10 minutes in, this game's crap, but I'm still gonna keep it in my gaming library. I'm like, why are you gonna keep it? Why'd you spend $60 and only spend 10 minutes
Let's evolve the topic a little bit. How long does somebody have to play a game to rate it?
to rate?
Hmm.
Like,
To say whether it's shit or not, to criticize against it, to say this is why this
I
game's
think they have to
garbage.
beat it.
This is why
They have to beat
this
it.
is why this is the greatest game.
I don't think they had to beat it.
Yeah, they do.
Potentially, if a game sucks so bad,
I think they need to
You can't
do
get a
the
full
main-
opinion.
does it take
Like
a
some of
certain
the
amount
main
of hours
parts of the
playing
game.
it? Does it take a certain amount of progress?
You have to beat it to get, like, 'cause what about if the final, like, the final mission makes you give it one rating less or one rating better? I think you have to beat it.
You mean the ending?
Yeah. You have to
Well,
I don't
reach
think
the...
that should be part of a review. I think that should be like a critic, like
I mean, at that point too, you're. I
You're
mean,
telling
what
me
you
you can
should
get a
be
full
critiquing
opinion?
is like maybe the end battle and how the
Yeah.
game ends. But like, as far as like a story point, like if it's a boring story to you, it could be an exciting story to someone else, right?
No, I mean, you have to just play everything the game has to offer to give it a rating. Like, you have to go through the whole story arc.
Do you have to beat everything in the game? Let's say
You
there's
don't have to
side
one-
quests.
You don't have to 100 it, but I'm saying, like, go through the portion of the game and finish the last encounter that the developer intended to be the last encounter.
I think it should be based off a level, a boss, and whatever like the developer needs to throw out like
Okay,
some of the main mechanics of the game so that you get a feel for it. I don't think you need to beat
okay,
the
let's
entire
take
thing.
Ocarina of Time. You go through, you finish the 7th temple, and then you don't go fight Ganon. Like, going through the whole entire end Hyrule Castle and then finding Ganon at the end is, like, a really big piece of the game. You find, like, the light arrows and, like...
I feel like Ganon is just another mechanic though that you've already done in that game.
He's a boss battle, but there's other stuff, like, you get other gear doing that last, like...
You
going
get
through
an
Hyrule
arrow
Castle
that
and-
shoots light. I mean, you're just shooting a bow and arrow again at a certain target.
And saving the princess, it's still fun. I mean, I guess that's where we come in different.
Because then I feel like you're rating the story. And I feel like the story
So
can
you're
be
saying-
perceived differently.
So at that point, you're telling me, like, you can just go through, like, you can just play the Forest Temple and then be done, because all boss battles are played the same.
I feel like you have to play the whole game, honestly.
That's what I just said, but no.
I know. I was trying
But
to think of
everyone-
like maybe a way where they could present everything, but I feel like you have to rate it as a complete package. But like, don't you feel like halfway through you could get the gist of Zelda? I
guess
feel
that-
like
you
in
can-
some ways too, critiquing is understanding what the game is. So do you think you would understand what that game is halfway through it?
You can understand a game and what it is.
Because is a critique saying like it
10
didn't
minutes
pay off
in.
at the end, or is a critique saying like this is what the game is and this is what it presents?
But a game is more than gameplay. Like, rating a game is rating it in its entirety. If you want to just rate gameplay, then just rate gameplay. But if you're gonna rate a whole game, you can't just take pieces of it and say, yeah, this part was good, and then I understand the mechanics, so I don't really need to finish it because the mechanics are understood.
I feel like if you played halfway through Zelda, you could rate everything but the story though, just because you didn't see how it finished.
But the story is part of it.
It is.
Like, that's like, okay, so if you went halfway through Destiny, you don't even have to do that to figure out Destiny. Just play the first mission and you know what Destiny is. But if you never get endgame, you can't rate Destiny fully.
I think MMOs are really hard to rate because they're ever changing.
Yeah, but you can
Because
rate
you
the
can
first...
say right now, Destiny is a pile of shit. There's Last Word, there's Thorn. But
you
they're going
don't
to nerf all
do-
that shit. So, like, in
You rate
September, that won't be
installments.
relevant anymore.
Yeah, but you rate installments after that. Like, you rate the
Yeah,
base
you don't-
game, and then whatever changes come along.
So it's a
Yeah.
review that constantly changes?
It
No,
changes with it.
because
No,
each
because the
each expansion gets a review.
yeah,
Yeah, but there's big patches sometimes in between those expansions that changes the landscape.
That gets
Suros,
lumped in
I
with
believe, got
whatever it
nerfed
is.
before the Dark Below.
it gets clumped in. Like
Yeah, it just
everything,
gets
like
clumped in. Destiny's still at 9.3.
no, it's
Well, I
not.
know video game
Destiny's
companies don't do that. Normally, they don't change their score. Polygon does.
what's Polygon?
Po- Polygon is a website. Apparently, a bunch of reviewers created their own website, and um, they have revisional reviews, I think is what they call it. So, if what they do is they play a game, and because it's not actually out to the broad public, and because so many games have come out broken, when the dev copy or the dev kit is like fine, they put up a score and they say this will change if circumstances change. And then they've done that with MMOs too. So like I think MMOs constantly change.
Does it? I don't think it matters. Like you have to rate a game in its entirety. Story counts, mechanics count, broken things count, and then you have to, and then also it's subjective. Like however you feel about it counts in a rating. Like people who say like, "Oh, I'm totally unbiased," is stupid. Like you're giving your judgment. Like what about if like someone who doesn't really care for, I don't know, first person shooters is rating a first person shooter, they're gonna say this is garbage.
I feel like 2 minutes
Or
into a first person shooter though, you could.
or like say you're just not good at it. Like you're not good at PvP and then like it's a mainly PvP game. You just can't get good for whatever reason. It's gonna take and affect your like it's gonna affect your score a little bit.
Roger, has your opinion swayed at all?
No.
You're telling me like you can rate a game and give someone an honest review without finishing it?
Well, I feel like I need to at least complete a level depending on the game, or get to a certain point where I have defeated a boss, I have gained power, or whatever that means, equipment, or I just got a new spell or something, and then if the game involves waves of some sort or some kind of mechanic like that where I'm constantly defeating, or maybe it's like Bloodborne where it resets. Like if you'd have to do all those things to feel like you've actually played the game. And
And you say you
I
can
feel
give a
like
good review?
I think I could give a good review of having done all these things. I mean, beating the very last boss, I would feel like, well, if you want to see what happens at the end of the game, you better buy it, right? I mean, you don't want to spoil it for everybody else, or no,
You don't have to, but like, what about if like the game's mediocre, but then the last boss, the payoff is really good,
the game is
and you,
mediocre. Has the last boss ever been good?
I don't know. I'm just
Well,
saying, what if? This is a what
whatever
if
the games
situation.
that you've played.
Rocket League last boss was way better than the game.
What? School
Uh,
boss.
I
What
want to
is a
say
game? Go ahead.
Destiny VOG Atheon was way better than all of Destiny, and that's Endgame. So to tell me like you can't
But
like
okay, let's take a step back. And Atheon Vog boss was not any different from any Minotaur in the game. Only difference was the mechanics at the very end, which
yeah,
actually weren't very hard at all. It was just you and your team doing those things as a team.
yeah.
Technically, we cheesed the shit out of the boss for like weeks. So
Who?
everybody.
So you would list Destiny as one of those games where the experience got better because of the end.
I think all games. I'm saying a what if, like if the game's mediocre, but then you get like a payoff that was like really good. Or you get like a payoff where they're like, holy crap, this game was really great, but the ending was like just ruined the whole rest of the game. Like,
Mm-mm.
what about if that happens? It's just like you're playing and then, man, it was such good gameplay. The story was solid for a really long time, and then I got to the end and it sucked.
Yeah, I guess that it
But
is out there.
I mean, like Batman.
I was not a
see, like
fan.
there's games out there that like ruin it to like just get the mechanics and not get the story. I think is not a fair review. Why are you playing the game? You're enabling a character through a
Well,
story.
it's kind of like what I did though. Okay, so I didn't play the game of Batman, but I wanted to do like I wanted to be up to date with you guys, so I watched somebody play the game, watched all the cutscenes,
So
and
I,
then I
I
could
pretty
talk
much
to you
did
guys about it with
Twitch.
you.
I did Twitch.
Well, they're called gameplay movies. It's a thing. Anyways.
Okay, okay.
So I did this, and so I could talk to you guys about it. And at the very end, I was extremely disappointed with the ending. But knowing that, and trying to tell you guys that, it's like, well, I've already beat the game. You guys want to hear my review? The ending was really shitty, and you guys were just like, no, 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 no. We're still playing. We'll give our review at the end. Like, why would you
I
can't
feel like
do that?
I feel like playing a game and watching someone play a game are two different experiences. Like,
Well, for Batman, the mechanics are the same thing as in the previous game. I mean, there's some new stuff, but overall, the combat is still the same, so I didn't feel like I missed out on anything.
but you already played. Yeah, you played one, played them all, and then with like Batman number three, a lot of people are banking on story. But if you watch someone play Batman number one, I don't think you would have got the same feeling. Like I feel like you have to review a game. You can't. You have to play it because it might be like you're like, oh man, that encounter was actually really fun.
I kind of
Even
feel like that way too, because like you could, let's say you watch somebody play like Resogun or some arcadey game and it looks really easy while they're playing it and it looks fun, but to get to that level takes like a lot of skill, so like your initial experience isn't that gratifying.
I understand that. I mean, I played Bloodborne. I really enjoyed it. Some people.
I'm not gonna name anybody.
I beat the game. I beat the game
No, you
though.
didn't. No,
Yeah,
you
I did.
didn't.
Nah,
No, you
fuck you
didn't.
guys. Fuck you guys into the ground.
He didn't even fight the final boss. Jeez.
Yeah.
I did. I beat the game and it did New Game Plus.
Did not beat the
There
final
we go.
boss.
There we go. Another. Okay, so you have a game like Bloodborne, Sam. Here's some flaws in your
Okay.
plan. Not necessarily leaning towards our way, but just a different direction. Okay.
Flaws in what plan?
So Bloodborne has multiple endings with different bosses. To review Bloodborne, would you have to play each multiple ending? And the
To
only way to
review
get
it?
those endings is through New Game Plus or starting the game over. Literally starting a new file, going through all the same shit, and doing a couple different things along the way to create a different ending, possibly a different fight. Maybe.
New Games Plus is playing the game over again. You beat it.
But it
It's
has
a new
multiple
boss.
endings. So to review that game, would you need to play all the endings?
No, because just because like there's a director's cut and a final cut, um, like of DVDs, I can review a movie without having seen final cut or director's cut. But as us being gaming snobs, we're gonna tell you you didn't beat the game. You can give a review, but you still didn't beat the game.
I
Alright.
kind of feel
Alright.
like a director's cut and the regular movie are like different things. I mean, there's added stuff, but the actual ending to Bloodborne cannot be obtained unless you do a certain thing.
Well, technically, the actual ending of Batman
And
can't be
you,
obtained unless you 100 it. So
well, that's
you're
just plain
telling me
stupid.
to review Batman, you have to 100 it?
That's what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's the actual ending to Batman. The only way to get it is
100ing,
100% it.
doing all no, because in the beginning I said you don't have to do all the side quests or the 100
But they're
or
potentially
100
different
it.
But
endings.
but to
I didn't
get the actual ending of Batman, you have to 100% it.
to get the crazy ending, but I said playing the main story and doing everything that the like publisher initially wanted you to deal with. You don't have to 100 it, but if you do like the last, you don't have a main mission left, you've beaten the game. That's why they have main missions and side quests.
But you said you have to bring a game to its completion and see
And
its
the beginning,
ending so that
go
you can
back.
properly.
No, go back and listen to what I said. Go back and listen to what
I
I
feel like
said.
you're being very hypocritical.
At the very beginning, I said you didn't have to 100. That's bullcrap. Screw both of
Well,
you.
I mean,
So
Screw both of
what they're calling the Batman ending is the
you.
true ending. They're calling
Screw
it the
both of
true
you.
ending.
The true ending, but you
But you
finished the
don't need
last
to get that
mission.
true ending. You can just say spoilers.
Whoa, 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 whoa. No, don't tell me. I'm gonna 100 it. Don't you dare ruin this for me. I will fly to Utah. I will rip your
What if
throat
that
out.
true ending shits all over the game?
Then sucks to be me.
But then the reviewer, under your criteria, never gets to that point, so the game will be rated highly. But if you actually go in 100% of it, it will actually ruin the game more.
I guess at the beginning I said you don't have to 100 it, but if like a game is forcing you to 100 to get a true ending, I think you should do it.
To
But if you
properly
want
critique the game.
to, yeah, like you can have like critique and then you can have like critique proper. And critique proper is you like going to the end.
Hmm. Alright.
Cause like, I mean, take Rocket League. Like, say you don't unlock every single piece of like every item. You can review Rocket League off of one game.
Yeah.
But I feel like to get a really good review, you have to have someone who played it like to the ground, because it gets stale very quickly. There is no like real replay value. I feel like Rocket League is like artificial replay value. But to rate something really good, there's a lot of factors that have to go. I feel like it's uh it's case by case.
So, I
Like
mean,
each
one
game.
last point here. I feel like when you build a game, when developers build a game, they have core mechanics, they have advanced mechanics that they teach, and then eventually all the mechanics are applied in one final battle. So, withholding the story, potentially at one point, you've done everything that the game is going to offer mechanically.
It's case by case each game. Each game
I
is
always
case by
hate how you get
case.
the most powerful thing at the very end, right before you fight the last boss.
Or the
That's why I
coolest
really
thing,
liked
right?
RPGs.
Pisses me off.
I feel like
The
RPGs
coolest.
stopped at like the 75% marker, and then you could do a bunch of shit.
The coolest thing was always like at the end. Like the Dynasty mask in Majora's Mask. You get only if you collect all the masks, and then it can only be used when you fight Majora. And it was like the coolest part of the whole game.
Hmm.
No, just me. No one remembers that. No one played
Yeah,
that game.
but like his problem is that they give you that shit right at the end, like after you've done
Yeah,
everything. So what do you use
yeah.
it on? Famous story: Fable gave you the greatest weapon in the game after you beat the final boss,
Oh
Oh
god,
really?
made
the
me mad.
Devourer or whatever. but then there was nothing to fight it with, and I remember that was a huge complaint about the game. Because you beat the final boss, so like everything's settled down, and supposedly you've done all your stuff. You know, I guess there maybe you skip some side quests, but like Final Fantasy VI, world gets destroyed. You get stuck on an island for like a couple months or some shit, and then eventually you go back out and you like decide to fight the final boss again. And it like at that point you're about 70% complete with the game, and you can like almost end it right there. Another game that did it, Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger had like you could end it in multiple sections within the game, or you could like keep going. So like I feel like there was a moment there where like you could get some of the final equipment before everything else was done.
I heard
Like
that game's really really good.
Which one?
Trigger?
Chrono Trigger is excellent. It's a crazy good game.
That's I hear like it's supposed to be like viciously awesome. Isn't it an old game? Are you showing your age right now, Eric?
Yeah, I think it was like 94, 96.
It's pretty old.
That's pretty old. Eric's the grandpa of our group, of our trio.
Super
of thieves.
Nintendo.
Super Nintendo.
I play games older than you.
I play games that can buy you alcohol.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, DOS games. Fuck you.
Well,
What?
go ahead.
I don't know. I don't care about reviews. Oftentimes I read a review and then they say it's amazing and I play it and I disagree with them. And then there's games that they say suck and then I play them and I like them.
So
It's
so
like
this, go ahead.
you really got to find a reviewer that has the same taste as you.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I feel like that's what reviews have come down to me. I
Like,
basically
if you
find
reviewed-
somebody who likes the same games I do, and
But if
then
you-
they like slowly, and you really have to learn with them too. It's like almost like this process. Like, I'll buy a game that they reviewed a certain way, and if I have the same feelings, and it keeps happening over and over again, like that's where I earn their trust. And then it's like, whatever they suggest, I'm just instantly like, well, we've gone through these trials before, so like, I'm pretty sure I feel the same way, buddy.
You're safe. We can date now.
I think you just
Almost.
explained Twitch.
You just explained dating.
Well, Twitch is
Twitch.
more like, I mean, especially when I went there to like look at a game to like evaluate it, like I wasn't listening to whoever was playing it. I mean, every once in a while they would, say something and, maybe you'd catch your ear, but like,
drop some
they would
pro
play
wisdom.
they would be playing the game, so I would tune them out, and like if the game just looked horribly fucking stupid, or if they started getting cool weapons, or if like their abilities looked really awesome, then you're just like, all right, like I can get behind this. And then I don't feel like
They
it's
gave
as
you that.
manufactured as like a trailer, or this is gameplay footage for our game. Like I feel like that shit is manufactured to look cool, to
Like,
get in as many people as possible.
Like Battlefield, and you were like, you ripped into Battlefield. Everyone was
You
like,
mean
that's
Battlefront?
actual gameplay. Battlefront, my bad, yeah. That's actual gameplay. You're like, nope. No, it's not. That's like, what was it? What did it read? Oh, crap, I can't remember.
In game, it was using in-game engine.
Yeah.
And people thought that meant gameplay, but that means they were using their in-game engine to like create a cutscene.
Yeah.
So
It's not going to look that good. That's what you're
yeah,
saying.
and then the reason they said that too is because E3 the previous year caught a lot of backlash because there was pre-rendered things. So what they do is they take a set of actions or a trailer or something like that, and even though it looks a certain way in the game, they get a super high-powered PC, and then it renders everything so it looks super, super crisp and nice, and then they play that for you. And so what you're actually getting is the product of like a high-powered PC running the game on settings that you like the PS4 just couldn't handle. So that was really, I think that was just like an answer to the backlash from that, from like everybody. I mean, it's been happening for years, but like it just caught media attention last year, I think. And so
Oh.
they were trying to say like, okay, this isn't a high-powered PC. There's like a PS4 running this cutscene for you right now, and this is what it will look like. But
I guess. I mean, who cares?
E3's the devil.
Trees the devil. Don't you play it.
I was gonna go into my new epiphany of
What's
my
that?
love for a certain amount of difficulty in a game, and for my love of and what an old school game does compared to what like new shit does, that I kind of like. Concerning Mega
tell
Man
us.
Battle Network, but I feel
Tell
like
us.
we've run along enough here, so like maybe I'll bring that in the beginning of the next podcast.
Oh, stay tuned.
Stay
Cliffhanger.
tuned, yeah. I'm
Will
gonna
Batman
give
and
you.
Robin make it?
I'm gonna give you some crazy shit I've come to realize about Mega Man Battle Network.
Will Woody and Buzz
If you look up
make
that
it?
game, it's a 9x9 grid,
To infinity.
and there are a lot of
and beyond.
similarities to like the.
Wait, are you
the-
telling
the
us? Or are
2D
you just giving? Is
the
this a
2D
trailer to
side
next week?
scroller. This is a trailer. The
Is this a
2D
trailer?
side scroller Mega Man. There are similarities. You're playing it on a 9x9 grid.
I feel like you're
you
telling
get
us.
you get a 9x9 grid, and they get a 9x9 grid, and somehow I find
Spoilers.
similarities
Why
to a
isn't this
2D
part
side
of-
scroller.
Why are we going to this?
Spoilers for next
Because
week.
I'm just trickle feeding right now, dude.
Trickle.
They're
Yeah, I got so much
biting a
into
little
it. You're
bit, and I
hyping
really
yourself.
like this. I really
I got
like
so
this.
much in me. It's just like spilling over. I gotta tell the world.
There's so much burger in my
Hook,
mouth, it just
line,
keeps pouring
and
out.
sinker.
I just feel like you want to keep it going. Like you were trying to end it, and you're like, actually, nah, girl, I'm gonna keep this going. Trick,
Well,
gotcha.
next week, stay tuned. This has
You
been
didn't pull out, could you, Eric?
this has been
If we
Three
make
Guys
it.
in a Cartridge.
If we make it,
This has been Three
We
Guys in
might-
a Cartridge, episode
we
10.
might blue ball you. We might
Please
blue ball you.
subscribe.
Like, we
Please
just
comment.
teased you hard. Like we teased
Tell us
you
how
hard.
you review games.
Yeah, I mean, you can
Do
follow
people-
me. You can follow Dishonorable
Yeah.
Thor, and I'll be
Dis-
tweeting my high scores. You can find me
Dishonorable
on
Thor.
Twitter. Dishonorable Thor. You can find me on Twitter, but instead of what you like originally like spell it, like take an O out. So typically, dishonorable is spelled D-I-S-H.
Just like at the top of the screen. But
Yeah,
remove
but then
one of
take-
those O's.
Yeah, take the O out. From,
Which O? Which O do we
after,
take out?
After the N.
After the N. Before the R. That's
Yeah.
the O
Roger.
we're taking out.
I don't know.
He is cutting us off. He is
So,
pissed.
If you
If-
get
if-
DDoS, it might be me. Don't be mad.
If you agree with Roger that you don't have to play the whole game, or maybe you disagree with Roger, there's
Tell
no
us
way to
about it.
message him. But
You can.
if
you
you
can send it to
absolutely
me.
hate Sam into the ground, you can Twitter him and just
If you hate
make his
Roger,
life
just-
hell.
Tweet me and I'll make sure it gets to him. I will make sure that gets to him.
I will be his
I will
Twitter
make-
on his behalf.
I will make him send you stupid gift faces.
I think-
I
also-
promise.
Also, for a setup, I think for a setup, you should make a Twitter handle
Oh God.
and present it
tweet-
to us next week.
I tweet my high scores. You guys can like. I tweeted that like I've warped Echo and I almost went flawless too, man. In Crota's End. If you play Destiny. Other than that, I'll be tweeting how we roll faces in Rocket League. If you want, you can message Dishonorable Thor and I'll set up a private match and I will face you in Rocket League. And I will roll.
Shit.
I will roll.
It's getting
you.
personal.
You can face 3 guys in a cartridge if you want. We will 3v3 private match.
I'm helping.
I'm Hot Fuzz, the soulless giant ginger, Hot XX Fuzz on Twitter. This has been episode 10. Good night.
Good night!